Hello and welcome to another episode of Azure Track's Microsoft Cloud Series. I'm Andrew Lowes, and with me today is my good friend Ryan McKay. Hi, Ryan, and thanks for joining me again for another great podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Andrew. How are you today?
I am amazing. So we've been chatting a lot about some, different email protections and kind of moving towards Defender for Office 365. And there's a couple components that are really critical. They're extra pieces that we have to add on through licensing packs of whatever flavor. Defender for Office 365 Plan 1, Plan 2, and sometimes it's bundled as parts of other security packs or big enterprise license SKUs. But because it requires a little extra licensing, it also requires some extra configuring. Not that they're directly tied together, but it often is the case. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about impersonation. I'm still me. Are you still you?
That's a good question, Andrew.
Awesome. Well, I think let's roll the thing, and then when we come back, let's figure out who's who. Welcome back, and thank you for being with us. So today we're going to talk a little bit about 365 email impersonation and protections. Ryan, you are my kind of resident expert when it comes to EOP policy, and especially kind of bridging the world between Exchange on premises and Exchange online. There's a lot of kind of sticky things that we have to make sure that we configure a bit differently in the online version. Kind of maybe walk me through a little bit of what we need to think about when we're considering kind of this anti-phishing and email impersonation kind of a policy.
Absolutely. One of the advanced capabilities that's available to Microsoft Cloud product consumers in the Microsoft Defender for Office 365 Plan 1 and Plan 2 suites exclusively is the impersonation capabilities and impersonation settings, anti-impersonation, if you will, that's included in, and here I'm going to say it again, anti-phishing policies for Microsoft Defender for Office 365. And really what these are for is to further secure your organizations against sort of those attacks that come in, where an example you see is, a CFO sitting in an airport and, sending an email to one of the payroll or one of the accounting folks saying, look, I lost my wallet. Can you wire me $50 sort of thing? But it's sent from, say, I'm going to pick on Gmail. It's sent from a Gmail account, or it's, it could show up coming from a domain that looks really good. And you might even miss the domain name, that has a special character that's been added to it, to try and trick you into sending that kind of money. So this advanced capability is available in the Microsoft Defender for Office 365 suite to protect your key users in the organization. And I'm a big fan of this particular capability.
Yeah, and we actually deal with this quite a lot kind of on the user support side, because this is a really common exploit to kind of try and sneak into companies, right? So the one that says like, Bob Jones at company.com, but it's really, bad guy at gmail.com or whatever. And, the common one I always think of is, hey, can you send me the code from the number of the Apple gift card or something like that, and also maybe the scratchy code off the back too, right? And that's kind of a dead giveaway, folks. Microsoft actually also, and I know we didn't kind of chat about this one, but they actually have really great educational materials for free that we can use as company IT or change management, kind of put that different training hat on. And we can teach our users using some kind of prefabricated docs from Microsoft designed to do just that, right? To kind of
Absolutely.
get people aware of some of those different exploits that come in, how to detect them. Something as simple as move the mouse over, hover, and wait for the address to pop up. And
Absolutely.
I mean, you know what they say, right? I mean, if it smells like kind of dark mud, yeah, it probably is, right? So
If it smells like fish, chances are it's a fish with right?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, so it's really interesting, and as we kind of go through here, there's kind of the different things that we do, right? So
mm,
these anti-phishing policies in Defender for O365, they're they're really designed to protect specific people, right?
mhm.
So it's more about targeting. So what do you see as, I mean, we get, I should rewind. So we often get the request of, oh, guys, just turn it on for absolutely everybody. Okay, well, and that's fair enough. Absolutely. We want to protect all of our people,
Absolutely.
you know, but this is really intended to give protection at a bit of a higher level. What's
Sure.
kind of a common configuration scenario for the level of people, the number of people you see added to these
Yeah,
policies?
absolutely. And to step it back for just a second, uh, per anti-phishing policy, and you can have multiple anti-phishing policies in Microsoft Defender for Office 365, but per anti-phishing policy, you can protect up to 350 users with the anti-impersonation protection. So what that leads to in most organizations that I see is, you have sort of an anti-phishing policy for the 95% of users, and then you have a different policy for the power users, for your high value targets, for your C-suite, for your finance people. And that's where, Andrew, I see the value in the anti-impersonation. Now, to your point, obviously we want to protect all our users to the best of those capabilities, but the average office worker sending email to their work email from a Gmail or from a Hotmail, or from some other service, is not that much of a is not as great of an
Mm-hmm.
attack vector as, for instance, the CFO of a company, or the controller, or the chief executive officer,
Exactly, right? You
CIO.
get an
So
email from the CEO saying, "Hey, can you send me $200? I lost my wallet. I just need some money to, pay for lunch or whatever
exactly.
and get on the plane," kind of a thing. A $200 lunch. Good
Yeah.
grief.
Well, it
Inflation,
depends.
right?
Yeah. Who knows? Prices are
That's
going
for
up.
sure.
Yeah.
Apparently, right?
He
But
eats
yeah, I
well,
guess
or
right. A
she.
little tomahawk steak or something there for dinner. But
Yeah.
that's a much more common attack vector versus
Hmm.
just like a Joe like you or I kind of emailing. We're
Yeah.
not going to email. I would not email you and say, hey, can you send me $100 or $200 or, well, I don't know, maybe I will. Maybe I need the
Well,
tomahawk steak
no,
now.
you've known me long enough. You've known me long enough, and you know what that answer would be. But
Buy your own steak,
kidding.
buddy. It's all good.
Mm.
So one of the other settings in here that's really great, and I don't want to overlook kind of some of the major points here is enabling the domains that we can protect, right? So this is one of the
Exactly.
things that sometimes I hate to admit this, but is overlooked in other configurations. Our
Mhm.
configuration checklist that you and I use is pretty thorough, pretty deep dive, but
Hope so.
it should be, right? I mean, here we are talking about this stuff. But the domains to protect is a really important configuration because it's not just about the primary, like company.com. It's also about subsidiary.com or subsidiary number 2.com.
Absolutely.
And we can have quite a few domains to protect in there, right?
Absolutely. Some organizations, I worked for one, and they were actually four separate Microsoft tenants, but they were all under the same umbrella. So it was important to configure in all four of those tenants the other three
Mm-hmm.
domains to protect. With merger and acquisition activity at a torrid pace these days, it is important to protect organizations that you're associated with, either through ownership or, quite honestly, through through collaborative purposes as well. You want to protect those additional domains, and that's really important. It was good that you pointed that out, Andrew, because not only are we, protecting our C-suite, our executives, our targeted users with impersonation, we also need to protect, the companies that we're doing business with, whether that be directly, indirectly, or through, merger and acquisition.
I think you said murder and acquisition. No merger.
Yeah, version merger. It's a long
It's all,
day.
it's been a long day today, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But you know,
absolutely.
I think these protections are really great because like any security solution, it's about the layers. It's about the sum of all the parts, right? And when we think about the layers of security, anti-phishing and email impersonation protections in Microsoft Defender for Office 365, that's such a mouthful. You need to shorten that for me. I can only say 3 words.
Mm.
But in this policy, protection policy, it's actually quite comprehensive and highly effective. It's very good. There are very
Mhm.
few false positives with these policies when they're well configured, right?
Absolutely. And to its credit, the product itself has evolved. And just recently, I'd stepped away. I hadn't configured it for a number of months, and a user was testing it out from their Gmail, and then the email went into the junk. They marked it as not junk, which, to my surprise, the next time the user emailed from the Gmail again, the spam confidence level was automatically set to -1, so the email came in. So it's still highly
Mm-hmm.
customizable with a little bit of organizational change management. It's very easy to deploy this. Train up your execs so that they're not inconvenienced. There is business reasons that executives will send themselves things from personal accounts, but it's highly customizable and highly
It
robust. So
is.
the product has evolved, and I'm quite impressed that now that additional capability is in there
Mm-hmm.
as
And
well.
you did touch on one thing I think that's really important as well, which is training. So there's two types of training I think that are kind of in that sentence, and the one is training our people, and that's absolutely critical to success. If they don't know what's coming at them or why something's happening, it
Yeah,
just leads to confusion, and then they feel a little bit rebellious or frustrated that they didn't know about something that was happening. So we have a responsibility to share and train that knowledge with our users. The other one is training our tenant, training our rules.
mm,
And this is one that we talk about really frequently with our clients when we're setting up new rules or when we're making big changes. Because you have to go through
mm,
that process. You have to do some right click, not junk, right click, this one is junk. And
yeah,
it does take a little bit of time. And, results may vary because every business is quite unique and really, and
yeah.
with everything being so darn electronic these days, I'm finding more and more, especially the last couple of years with all the obvious electronic changes in remote working, there's been a lot of challenges around this is or this is not spam and it is or is not being detected the right way. But if we train the tenant,
Absolutely.
we train our users on how to train the email rules within the tenant, then we get really great results within, let's say, about a month as a typical kind of a
Absolutely.
time frame.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I always tell clients to step it back, always try to train the clients, give them the tools they need to succeed, give them the tools that they're able to train their internal staff with. And I always say to them, this is going to be a bit of a marathon, but really, once you get past that month-long period of training the intelligence in the background that's driving the Microsoft Defender products, you're gonna make out like it ain't gonna be a thing like a
Exactly.
chicken wing on a shoestring. It's just gonna
Exactly.
work.
And it kind of falls into the background and becomes kind of operations mode is really ops mode, right? It's just maintenance and you touch it
Absolutely,
once in a while and very light touch for the administrators. Awesome.
absolutely.
So
Yep.
tell me, Ryan, where on earth can we find Microsoft Cloud Quick Fix and Ryan McKay online?
Absolutely. Thank you, Andrew. For most things, I can be found on the on LinkedIn, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. Microsoft Cloud Quick Fix. I can be found on Twitter. I shortened it at MSCQF. And the blog is located at www.mscqf.com. And Andrew, where can we find
Pretty
you?
much everything at Azure Tracks or azuretracks.com. We're working on some more articles, you and I both, and
Hmm.
it's really great to be back. It feels like we've shaken off of the rust. Not the grammar. The grammar is still a work in progress for me.
Yeah, that's what happens when you record at 9 o'clock at night.
Exactly. So, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We absolutely love hearing your feedback. Like, thumbs up, give us a comment, let us know what you think. If you have any requests for topics, let us know. You can definitely find us at all of the social media that you see on the screen there. So, thank you so much, everybody, and have a fantastic day.
Take care, everyone.